is a presentation of TFNN. The Tom O'Brien Show is produced every business day. Tom takes your phone calls toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-873-7618.
Let's go to John in Orlando. John, what's going on, brother?
Good afternoon, Tom. How are you?
I'm doing great, man. Yourself?
Good. I'm going to tell you, I've been listening to you since your radio days back in 99. Appreciate what you guys do. But what I really enjoy that you brought back Tim Ward. This guy is as smart as a whip.
I am so happy for that feedback.
Yeah, because he's one of a kind. He's got to be the #1 market timer. I'm telling you, it's like he calls it really good.
He does. I really appreciate the feedback, man.
Yes.
Now, Tom O'Brien.
What's going on, everyone? This is Jacob Shoup. You're watching the Tom O'Brien Show. Let's take a look at what we got going on this Wednesday. We have the composite off about 0.21%, 19,241. Dow Jones Industrial off about up about 0.06%. The DXY off about a full percent there at 106.48, still very strong. Crude oil is kind of bottoming out or settling around that 68.14 level. And you have E-mini kind of flat right now, trading at 6,013. We're taking some of a breather, essentially, right now, right? We've had some massive moves up since the results of the election came out. And the past 3 sessions, we've been kind of consolidating, moving downwards, maybe slightly upwards. We're going to go right now over to our man Basil Chapman. Tomorrow, that's going to be November 14th. Basil Chapman has a subscriber-only webinar. So that means if you are a subscriber to the Opening Call newsletter, you got to get in the den and you got to come join this. This is at 4 o'clock to 5:30 p.m. Eastern Time. That's right after the end of programming tomorrow. If you are not a subscriber, not to worry. You can get in right now and you'll still be able to join if you can't make it to the 4 o'clock, 5:30 p.m. Kind of time slot, but you still want to see what's going on. Don't worry, we're going to have that recorded for you and uploaded. We are joining right now by Basil Chapman. Basil, how you doing?
I'm doing well, Jacob. How are you?
I'm doing well. What do we got looking at? I'm really looking forward to this webinar as we get closer to the day here.
Yeah, it's getting closer, but what's really fascinating about this is, so the title is Sectors and Stocks for the Next Market Phase. It's for Opening Call subscribers. This webinar is a free webinar for subscribers. Thursday, November the 14th, 4 o'clock to 5:30. I like to do an hour and a half because I really like to get into the nitty-gritties rather than just superficially talk about things. So it's really an educational aspect to it as well as what do I buy? What do I sell? But it was fascinating as I'm going through just reviewing the slides that I have already, and I'm going to have far less slides this time. I'm going to really go to charts, a lot of charts that we want to look at. I'm looking at what I did in July, and there the slide said sectors that should be part of 2024's next big rally. Besides the obvious, that's the Dow, the S&P, the QQQ, the XLK, IGV, SMHs, that's the semiconductors, and IWM. We have the XLP, the S&P financials have been strong, and the KRE, the regional banks, which are now playing catch up. So we actually, we had in the financials, we had Bank of America. We've still got, it's done fabulously, but I wanted to add the regionals because I think it's so important that this particular phase now has the regional banks. It's just important for the economy as I read it. And we have some positions in the KRE, and they're doing very nicely. So this is still from July. It turns out that it is now as relevant today in November as it was in July, maybe even more so. The second one is the IAI broker-dealer ETF. Well, we've had that since the low of 2020 in the 45 area, and it's at least 4 or 5 times up from there. But we've also added Robinhood. So that was an important thing because in that particular phase, I wanted to see if the market was going to be strong, you have to see the broker-dealer area start to move up as well. And we've seen that. So what we are missing, number 3, is the AI, artificial intelligence. We've had that for a long time. It's done extremely well. That's the ETF. It's AIQ is a symbol. But I've been wanting to add HACK and bots. We once had bots, which is a robotic ETF, and we did really well, and then we got out of it, never got back in, and hack, which is the cyber area, haven't got back in, and they are doing really well. And I'm going to be discussing, what do you do when something gets away from you, and you just throw your hands up and say, I don't know, I can't buy it here.
Totally.
Well, there are things that you can do, and that's what we're going to discuss. So the IWM, the RUT 2000, I said the S&P has done fabulously. You should see a catch-up trade in the Russell 2000. Well, we bought the Russell 2000 at the low in August, the day after the low, actually. We've been in it, we've added to it, and I think that this is an area that's playing catch-up. Then we got the IWC, which is the microcaps. I'll be talking about that. We don't have a position in that. We might consider it. The IWB, which is the Russell 1000, has done fabulously, and the MDY, which are the mid-caps, have done very well. Then I'm looking at different packages where the ETF or the position that you want to take has already done the work for you. So I'll still be looking at ARKK, that's the Innovation Fund. We haven't got into it, although I've liked it a lot. It's done well. And a lot of these charts are making, I'll talk about it in just 1 second, this big cup formation. And so PAVE is another one, infrastructure, which is very important. It kind of goes together with the Hack AIQ and the BOSS ETFs that I was talking about. So I have some positions that I'm looking at that are possibilities in the power area for PAVE, the infrastructure ETF. So we'll be looking at then battery stocks. We haven't done anything for a while with battery stocks.
Oh, yeah.
So I want to, just in the moment that we've got here, I wanted to show you something very interesting. So if you're looking at just here's a sector that we could be looking at, and that is, if you're looking at Ford, look how badly Ford has done. It made $25 high back in January 2022. Yeah. Here it is at 11. Toyota Motors, you can go through all of them, but wait a minute. There's one company that did not go all EVs. They still have a lot of gasoline engines, and that's General Motors. And look at this cup formation. I've shown it all week. We've been looking at this formation that says if there is a cup formation that's making higher highs and higher lows, there's a really good chance it's going to test the left side high, and that's at 67.21, January of 22. It plummeted down to 26, so more than cut in half. So General Motors is looking very attractive here. What do you do? It's at a recovery high. Is this where you buy it? Well, I'll be discussing that sort of thing because I think it's really important for both my subscribers and for new subscribers. History is one thing. We've got 40, 50, even 100% gains in some of our positions. That's got nothing to do. It's all, it's like your next meal. Can you produce the same quality? Right. So we're going to do our best for subscribers, new subscribers, to be able to add to positions or to get positions we haven't had before that are really showing a tremendous technical veracity. Look at Disney. Disney's been horrible.
Yes, it has.
But for the first time, Disney's starting. Look at that cup formation in the weekly chart using my technique, left side, right side. It could try for the 106s over the next week, and it's trading at 102. And even if it does it, then what do? That's a recovery high. So I'll be discussing that. I'm not afraid to go to all the oldies and include them with the new ones.
We love it. Basil, we're looking forward to seeing you tomorrow at both 10 a.m. and 4 p.m. Eastern Time.
Thank you very much, Jacob. Have a great evening.
You too, Basil. Folks, stay right there. We'll be right back.
If you spend any time online researching trading techniques on how to begin your trading journey, you've no doubt come across many folks who push Forex trading as a way to make big money quickly. Unfortunately, there are equally as many stories of these so-called Forex professionals just looking to make a quick buck off aspiring traders without actually teaching the ins and outs of the Forex market. This is what sets Teddy Keckstadt's The Tiger Forex Report off the riffraff. Every Monday, former Chicago Mercantile Exchange member and author Teddy Keckstaddt releases his Tiger Forex Report newsletter, where he dives into the complex world of Forex and takes time to actually teach you his methods that have made him so successful in the fast-paced and rewarding world of Forex trading. Furthermore, all subscribers receive access to archived live streams of Teddy's, where he provides university-level education to help you in Forex trading. All first-time subscribers receive a 30-day money-back guarantee. So what are you waiting for? Forex awaits.
Steve Rhodes started his trading career as a student almost 20 years ago, and the student has now become the master. Steve won the prestigious Timer of the Year award in 2018 and barely missed that mark again in 2019, finishing at number 2 for the year. An amazing accomplishment. Steve Rhodes is committed to sharing his techniques and knowledge with anyone who wants to learn, and he shares his vast amount of trading knowledge every day in his Mastering Probability newsletter. Steve's award-winning newsletter, Mastering Probability, is delivered every trading day with updates throughout the afternoon. Sign up for Steve's market newsletter, Mastering Probability, and you'll receive access to 7 of Steve's educational webinars absolutely free. At TFNN, all our newsletters come with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have absolutely nothing to worry about. Visit TFNN.com and try Mastering Probability 30 days risk-free today. TFNN, educating investors.
Building wealth trading in the stock market seems impossible to most people. They think it's too volatile and risky. Most people aren't going to take the time to educate themselves on how to do it right. But you're not most people, are you? At TFNN, you'll get the guidance you need to refine your strategies and techniques to invest like a pro. Because you'll be a pro. All TFNN subscriptions, books, software, and courses are available at TFNN.com. And I'm even going to tell you how to get them for less. Use TFNN's Tiger Dollars and you'll get up to a 20% bonus on your purchase. And once you apply them to your account, Tiger Dollars are automatically used for all future or recurring charges. Tiger Dollars also never expire, are fully transferable, and are a great way to add savings to your newsletters or services. Become the investor you were born to be at TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors.
Welcome back, everyone. This is Jacob Shoup. You're watching the Tom O'Brien Show. We're just joined by Basil Chapman. Again, I really want to I can't overstate this, right? Basil puts on phenomenal webinars for this. I pay attention the entire time I'm there. I go back since I have access to the back end there and just watch him over again if I just want to, kind of really understand what he's saying. And he has made fantastic winners. I mean, the Robinhood catch was awesome. And what's even, I would say, better for Robinhood in that capacity is, they're starting to add, crypto essentially onto the platform. This is huge. They're expanding the amount, at least, that they have. So really, I do recommend checking this out. If you have never subscribed before to the opening call, this is risk-free in the sense that if for whatever reason it doesn't work out for you, you can get a 30-day money-back guarantee. You have essentially no risk at all. Again, this is the webinar from tomorrow, 4 p.m. to 5:30 p.m. Eastern Time. If you cannot make it, again, it is totally okay. We're going to have this recorded, and it's going to be up for your viewing whenever you want. I strongly recommend checking this out. His newsletter is phenomenal. He has updates every day, and he does a long-form video. He's started doing it Friday now, but it's just so in-depth. And so I really strongly recommend checking that out if you haven't yet. Let's check out what else we got going on. There's a lot of weird stuff actually happening. So I guess... Oh man, what do I want to talk about, right? You have Cisco earnings after today. Okay, you have new. So this is a freaky one, right? I'm going to talk about Cisco to some extent. New Holdings. This is a bank in South America, right? And I was doing some research on this company. There's a lot of underbanked people in South America. You're starting to kind of develop a little bit more. You can see this kind of, reflected a bit in Mercado Libre, right? Like being the Amazon of South America. Mercado Libre obviously had bad earnings because they're gearing up to essentially become a financial company in some certain case, right? Able to lend out money to their people. Regardless, they're becoming more dominant, right? And so South America is going through this kind of phase where it's not that they're not modern, but it's underrepresented populations are starting to get access to what people in the developed world have access to. This is in comparison, at least something like Mercado Libre, with a company like Jumia, right? Which is supposedly touted as the Amazon of Africa. And I'm sure in some capacity that is true, but there's a disparity there between how developed and, essentially South America is compared to Africa, and how some of these people that are not currently enjoying this kind of development are being brought into the fold, right? I'm not really sure why my charts are not coming up on this, so I apologize for that. But what I can discuss, at least with New, is they do have earnings coming out, okay? They have grown. Their acquisition is insane. A lot of the, I suppose, reviews of it, supposedly the banks in South America are not easy to use, right? A lot of people don't like them. They charge a lot for this. And New is kind of revolutionary in the sense where they don't do that, and they handle customer care very closely. We know that is a recipe for success in a lot of different examples. So this is the Q2 24, right? So this is their last report that they had. They added 5.2 million customers, reaching a total of 104.5 million globally. That's a 25% year-over-year increase, reinforces their position as one of the largest and fastest-growing digital financial services worldwide. New has added more customers in the past 12 months than the 5 largest Brazilian banks combined, according to central bank data of Brazil. Monthly average revenue reached $11.02. Foreign exchange neutral basis expanded 6% sequentially, and more mature cohorts already at $25. New continues to develop principally among customer base, and activity rate increased to new record highs of 83%. That's an 11th consecutive increase in that metric. It's low cost. We've already spoken about that. You have, profitability, drive, net income for Q2 24 of $487 million, annualized ROE of 28%, and that's a massive, that's nearly a doubling of what their, at least their net income was for Q2 23. So what I'm reading, basically, they're launching mobile phone services that haven't been implemented yet, right? So we're looking at forward guidance, essentially, right? I do think that they'll probably continue to see, marginally similar growth, at least for this report, and then certainly going forward. I mean, there are a lot of people that are underbanked, right? So they're expanding working capital, and then really the new sell, which is the mobile service app. I think that's going to allow them to essentially attract more people. Deposits increased 64% year over year, 25 billion. Net interest income up 77%. So this is interesting for me. I don't have a position in it right now. Part of me almost wants to, because I've seen how South America is really mobilizing and getting more people into that fold, as I've been saying. I'm going to be following it very closely, but that's what we have, at least earnings today on that. Let's see what else. Obviously, Cisco, we'll talk a little bit about them going forward in the show. I think nothing super hot going on today either, Sonos, but that's not important, I guess. Sorry, Sonos. Then Walt Disney tomorrow, AMAT, Applied Materials. So let's talk about one that went super well that we've been talking about. And I think it was, I don't know why this is not loaded. I think this was YOY in the Den, right? If that's you, let me know, because I think him tell me he got into Rocket Labs, and then someone else texted me as well that was listening, and they said, we're getting into Rocket Labs as well. Rocket Labs was an unbelievable movement today. That was an awesome deal. So I'm happy for everyone that got into it. The Neutron rockets are going very well. Service agreement for multiple launches on Neutron, which is great. This is for commercial satellite constellation operations, which is massive as well. So let's take a look at this a little bit. And once we go to the break, I'm going to refresh this and just see what I can get here. Looks like we're stuck connecting, at least to Thinkorswim. And if you're dealing with Thinkorswim right now and you can't get in, let me know too, so I'm not struggling with it. So yeah, in the third quarter of 2024, they executed end-to-end space strategy with successes and key achievements. Okay, revenue grew 55% year on year to 105 million. So that's the upper end of their guidance that they had for this quarter, which is fantastic. Continue to see strong demand growth in our backlog at 1.05 billion. Achievements for the quarter included signing a launch service agreement for multiple launches of the Neutron with a confidential commercial satellite constellation customer, successfully launching 12 Electron. This is their kind of old system on it. Launches year to date, making 2024 a record for launches for them. That is great. Signing 55 million in new Electron launches. Wow. And so then, this is crazy. Expect to close the year strongly with more Electron launches in November and December. alongside continued progress for Neutron, and then their guidance for 125 and 135 million revenue quarter in Q4. That's really awesome. And so this stock really, like I said, once we get this connected, we'll be good to go. But this stock just plummeted. I mean, we were up like 34% earlier or something like that. This market in and of itself, I mean, it's almost like if the company just doesn't do horribly, like you're going to get propelled, right? Which should give us some pause a little bit, I would think. We'll talk a little bit more about Rocket Lab when we get back. I really do want to pull up the chart, just take a look at it and look at the volume. So stay right there, guys. We'll be right back.
Many trading newsletters attempt to focus on a narrow set of equities or commodities. While this works for some, it oftentimes misses many opportunities that possess huge gain potential. But how is an independent trader supposed to scan the entire market looking for these hidden opportunities? One simple answer: the opening call newsletter. Basil Chapman, developer of the Chapman Wave trading methodology, has been trading the markets for longer than most trading influencers have been alive. And over that time, he has honed his methodology in order to accurately call movements in a wide range of equities, from semiconductors to uranium to key indices and so much more. Basil is old school, taking the time to educate the trader while also giving his insights into key indices, selective stocks, and more. Opening call subscribers also receive access to dozens of educational live streams that can be accessed at any time for your edification. All first-time subscribers receive a 30-day money-back guarantee. So ignore the pop trading influencers and start learning time-tested technical analysis.
Steve Rhodes started his trading career as a student almost 20 years ago, and the student has now become the master. Steve won the prestigious Timer of the Year award in 2018 and barely missed that mark again in 2019, finishing at number 2 for the year. An amazing accomplishment. Steve Rhodes is committed to sharing his techniques and knowledge with anyone who wants to learn, and he shares his vast amount of trading knowledge every day in his Mastering Probability newsletter. Steve's award-winning newsletter, Mastering Probability, is delivered every trading day with updates throughout the afternoon. Sign up for Steve's market newsletter, Mastering Probability, and you'll receive access to 7 of Steve's educational webinars absolutely free. At TFNN, all our newsletters come with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have absolutely nothing to worry about. Visit TFNN.com and try Mastering Probability 30 days risk-free today. TFNN, educating investors.
The consistency you're looking for is closer than you think. 1 or 2 adjustments are usually all you need to change your equity curve from red to green and keep it there. Come join Larry Pesavento live to learn what separates the winners from the losers. Join Larry Pesavento on the 2nd and 4th Friday of every month for 3 hours of live trading from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. Eastern Time, where Larry will show you the market setting up and, most important of all, the state of mind of a winning trader. By watching Larry trade, you'll learn the Fibonacci levels, you'll learn how to apply A to B to C to D trading patterns, you'll learn trade management, pattern recognition, and much more. Join Larry October 11th and 25th for more live trading action. Your purchase goes towards 2 sessions, so make sure to sign up now so you don't miss a chance to sit next to Larry as he trades the market live. For all information and reserve your spot today, go to the front page of TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors.
This portion of the Tom O'Brien Show is brought to you by Direxion's daily leveraged and inverse ETFs. Whether you're a bull or a bear, you choose the direction. Visit Direxion.com. Investing in the funds involves significant risk and should only be utilized by investors who understand the impact of leverage and actively monitor their portfolio. They are not designed to track the underlying index or security for more than a day. Before investing, carefully consider a fund's investment objective, risk, charges, and expenses contained in the prospectus available at Direxion.com. Read carefully. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome back. We're taking a look at Rocket Lab before we went to the break. I got the thinker stone to work, thankfully. Wow, massive movement. I mean, seriously, up 34.44% just right now at $19.71. I think it closed at like $14.67 or something like that, made a high of $22.55. So this is some nice kind of information they shared, right? So completed production delivery of 2 spacecraft on time and on budget for NASA's Escapade mission to Mars, which is a great mission name. Like, selected by NASA to complete a study contract for a proposal to retrieve samples from Mars and return them to Earth, a first of its kind mission. Completed 2 new spacecraft for Varda Space Industries to conduct the 2nd and 3rd missions to return in-space manufacturing capsules to Earth, and then executed on schedule against the company's $515 million prime contract with Space Development Agency and build 18 spacecraft for Tranche 2 Transport Layer Program. Revenue projections are 135 million. Gross margins basically 26 to 28%. Operating expenses 84 to 86. Whoa. Let me see what the basic shares. This doesn't have that. Doesn't look like, I gotta check this, but they have more. I don't know if they have more basic shares outstanding or not. They do have it as 501 million. I'll check that during the break. But yeah, then adjusted EBITDA loss of 27 to 29 million. So pretty good movement with that. And, you know, it's interesting, right? You know, you get this thing with the SpaceX is obviously extraordinarily dominant in this kind of stuff, right? So launching, coming back, whatever it is. But NASA has still been trying to compete, right? I mean, this is what you were seeing with like what Boeing was trying to do, and they screwed up royally and nobody talks about it anymore. But in the past, that had been divorced, right? You could have SpaceX doing their thing, they get contracted by NASA, but NASA's been doing this kind of simultaneous deal where they are trying to get other people into that fold and have their rockets work. I don't know, right? It's kind of hard to say, like, with Elon Musk's involvement in this new administration, do companies like this get squatted, right? I mean, does Trump just say, no, this is whatever, we're going to be using SpaceX only, we're not going to try to get all this kind of other stuff, whatever. That's something that's going to have to be, you know, you're going to have to wait to see with this kind of stuff. No doubt there is room for it. I mean, the amount of satellites that are going up right now, very, you know, important, a lot of them going up. So there's still room, I would argue, for other rocket companies. But I get concerned again, you know, where you're getting someone like Elon Musk in the administration. Do these companies get suppressed in some capacity, right? And I don't think that's extraordinarily clear right now. You have to wait a little bit longer, probably past inauguration, or just wait for Trump to say something in that meantime, and then just see what happens. Let's talk a little bit, I guess, about inflation. You at least have CPI coming out today. This is 2.6 for the 12 months ending last month. You know, actually things are not so bad, right? You have food kind of only increasing by 0.2, so slowing down a little bit. Food away at home, slowing down. Food at home slowing down. Food away from home slowing down as well. Energy staying pretty constant right now. Energy commodities off. Gasoline. So, I mean, we're getting contractions right now, right? Electricity itself is up here. And utility is, again, coming down a little bit. Obviously, we're still moving up, but not as much as we were in September. September this was a tough one, you know. And then shelter, of course, a little bit hot right now. And that's kind of what we're rocking at. I still see the 50-point basis cut coming. I think that's probably why you didn't see a massive contraction. You know, in some theory, CPI is not the whole picture, you know, but we started really, really drilling very heavily, more than we are now. That is going to be able to bring that CPI number at least down to some capacity, and maybe it warrants, you know, if you don't get anything insane with something like shelter or food, you know, you get more rate cuts from that. So we'll see what happens. But again, this didn't affect anything in any capacity. I don't think the stalling out that we're seeing right now has anything to do with that. I think we've just moved up so heavily. And really, too, even having, like, you know, this isn't the composite, but even having this volume still marginally high and just staying constant, that is, you know, I would say pretty strong, at least for the market itself. Now, I will say that everyone, and I mean literally everyone, people who don't even know what's going on, are talking about trading and getting into Bitcoin and da-da-da-da-da. And this starts becoming a problem, right? Like, is that where we start getting a top where you get all, I mean, it's hard to say, right? Increased market participation is always decent in some capacity, but it seems like everyone is talking about how high the stock market is, how much they want to get into it. Call here now to learn how to trade, signs out in the street. So I can definitely see maybe, we run into Christmas very strong, right? And there's a lot of evidence to support that. I mean, consumer spending is still up. You get a lot of promising things for 2025. But do we see a contraction, or, at least some kind of profit taking in the beginning of the year, maybe around the inauguration or something like that? We'll have to wait to see. But this is very exuberant. I mean, we crashed through, the other highs, right? With some pretty strong volume. So I can definitely see some time here where we're contracting a little bit in it. Some news. I do want to go into Cisco some and Quantum, because Quantum blew up today. We're up like 100% right now. So this is Qubit is the ticker. Okay, so it's coming off a little bit. This is, I don't know what this is. This is like one group piling in. We're going to talk a little bit about what is interesting about them and kind of why I might want to take some position in it going forward. This is very high. Obviously, this is up at 100%. Earlier when I was looking at it, 102. We've come off 68% right now. This is volatile, right? I mean, you get in at a point like this, and you're probably going to lose some money. But overall, it seems like they're relatively well positioned. But let's first talk about Amazon in some sense here. Let me pull this up. Up 2.49%. This is because they are basically competing with Temu, right? Which is a massive factory-to-door, logistics company. Okay, so in China, if they're building, whatever, they're making these shoes, they're making these purses, making furniture. There's a lot of copies out there, and these massive factories dupe all this kind of stuff. And prior to Temu, this was basically unattainable, right? I mean, you had to call the factories there. There was a small time period where you would have basically intermediates, Chinese nationals who would speak English, and they would allow you to order from them and do this kind of stuff. So Temu stepped in and said, hey, let's just consolidate all of that and make it easy. Temu has blown up. So now Amazon is doing Amazon Haul, which is basically a broad selection of anything you want that's $20 or less. It's like the dollar store almost online, which I think is going to be unbelievably huge for Amazon. Folks, stay right there. We'll be right back.
If you're looking for potential trading setups in the stock market, then Rocket Equities and Options Report is a newsletter you should try. Tommy O'Brien delivers options and equity trades when the markets present them, using a combination of fundamentals and technicals. Sign up for Rocket Equities and Options Report today with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to risk. For all the details and to start your subscription today, visit the front page of TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors. For traders who crave risk, Direxion's daily leveraged and inverse ETFs provide opportunities to magnify short-term perspectives with up to 3 times a daily leverage, utilize bull and bear funds from both sides of the trade, and trade through rapidly changing markets. These are highly leveraged ETFs with daily resetting designed for short-term trading, not long-term investing. Whether you're a bull or a bear, you choose the Direxion. For up-to-date pricing and performance, go to Direxion.com. Investing in the funds involves significant risk and should only be utilized by investors who understand the impact of leverage and actively monitor their portfolio. They are not designed to track the underlying index or security for more than a day. Before investing, carefully consider a fund's investment objective, risk, charges, and expenses contained in the prospectus available at Direxion.com. Read carefully. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
The reality is that navigating financial markets can be risky. Markets can be chaotic and difficult to understand. Having the latest market advice can help you turn this chaos into a key for creating winning trades. At TFNN, we understand that it can be hard to find reliable market news. That's why each of our market experts offers their very own market newsletter, a must-have tool for every trader out there striving to find an edge in today's markets. TFNN newsletters cover every aspect of the markets so you can analyze the market before you trade. Try any of our great newsletters risk-free with our 30-day money-back guarantee. Just visit the Newsletters tab on the front page of TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors.
TFNN has launched the Tiger's Den, hosted at Discord. TFNN has been educating traders for more than 20 years with live programming hosted by a variety of professional traders during market hours. The Tiger's Den, available to all tigers and tigresses for just $1 for the year. There's no catch or added costs when you join our community of traders. Sign up today and become a part of this educational community of traders. Just visit the front page of TFNN.com.
This program is brought to you by Vista Gold, traded on the NYSE American and TSX under the symbol VGZ.
Tom O'Brien.
Okay, everyone, welcome back. Jacob Shoup, Tom O'Brien Show. You know what's going on. Cisco, let's do this. Oh, good. Cisco. Trading up 0.76% right now, trading at 59.16. Got a target boost to $66 from, I believe, JP Morgan. But let's talk about them a little bit. Okay, so you have, this stock has done very well managing in a time where things have gone very slow for them, right? Especially in networking and stuff like that. That is set to change, of course. Switches are, this is my thing with Cisco, right? Cisco is not the best at anything. It is certainly not the worst at anything. It is just like, that is your, I don't even know, what's a good like car, like Olds would be, I don't even, like it's like, it's a Toyota, man. You know what I mean? They have like some really cool stuff, but one of the things is, it was funny, I had, my friend was telling me this a long time ago when I was doing some networking stuff. He was like, nobody ever got fired for implementing a Cisco device. And it's true. It's dependable, very good. It can be quite expensive, but no doubt when you get this expansion in these hyperscalers and these data centers, that Cisco is going to be involved in some capacity, right? So you're seeing the general market recover in a major way. Cisco is going to, it didn't even get really hurt in a major way, right? They've managed this downturn over the past few years very, very well, which leads me to believe that they will do the same when things are running very well for them. And they have done that in the past, right? Same leadership, all that kind of stuff. So that's one way to look at this. They obviously did Splunk, which is fine. Cisco obviously has a massive cybersecurity event response kind of team. This is super fascinating. Okay, this is December 21st, 2023. I haven't heard a lot about this in any way, but this is Isovalent. They acquired Isovalent a long time ago, which is forward thinking. This is eBPF. Okay, so essentially what this is, in networking, you have something called containerization, right? These are things like Kubernetes and Docker and everything. And you're essentially running a bunch of OS on a similar, on the same hardware, right? That's one way to look. That's a very, primitive overlook of what that is. But this is going to be this is important now, but it's going to be doubly important when you're talking about spinning off all these kind of different AIs from these data centers, right? Because again, this end goal, at least on enterprise AI, from the companies that are developing them, is to lend these AIs out to people and have them perform inference tasks, right? So make things more efficient, make data analytics more efficient, suggestions more efficient, and stuff like that. So one of the major issues that can come about, right, with, basically containerizing AI is that they're all going to speak to each other and going to do so without any real security implementations on them. That is a massive problem. So Isovalent, what this company had done is with this tech here, they're able to essentially sit on top of every container and act essentially as like an event management kind of deal. to act as whatever you'd usually have as someone who is like, you know, in a cybersec team, which is really going to be super, super important, right? And I was just thinking, like, over the break, there was this news with OpenAI. I've got to find it here. Okay. Yeah, so launch AI agent tools to automate tasks for users. So this is called Operator. This is a leak essentially, but you know, what you're doing is you're putting something, right? And I don't know if we call AI as software or what they're going to call it, AI as a service or whatever is a service, but you're putting something that is not native to your environment on your environment, right? And that right there automatically creates a security issue. And so you know, how do you deal with that, right? And if these things are operating from basically a containerized platform, something like Isovalent with Cisco comes in there. So I'm really going to be looking, you know, at their earnings report, see if they bring anything up about Isovalent and how they're kind of positioned to really benefit from that acquisition. And if they do, you know, again, this is a big boy, this company, right? We're at $236 billion. Cisco's established. It's not doing anything revolutionary that's going to send the stock up like 30%, like we're seeing with, you know, whatever, Rocket Labs or Ionic or maybe even Qubit to some certain extent. So, you know, you got to look for things like, one, again, you have that expanding environment or that expanding market where things are getting healthy. But if they can leverage this Isovalent thing and people are utilizing it, and it seems like more people are going to utilize it when we're starting to spin off a lot of AIs for enterprise use, I think that actually is a good argument for positive, like strong Cisco growth, not just incremental cash cow growth that you see in Cisco over time. Anyways, that's kind of my take on Cisco right now. I decided really not to take any like big position in it. I think right now this market is so strong that looking at it is super risky, right? But these small cap stocks, right, that are in these kind of emergent fields, if you can reason well enough that they're going to have good forward guidance, it's almost probably better to wrap in that for the time being. And that is not advice. That is my thought process. So please do not, listen to that. And if you do your own due diligence with it. But you just see massive movements in those kind of companies right now where Cisco is so established and it's a safe bet. 23 PE here. Good dividend, That's kind of where I'm at with Cisco, I guess. It's a great company. And they manage this downturn very well. All right, let's talk about QBT Quantum. Give me a second. Okay, this is so weird, man. Okay, so they're fighting right now, basically. But up right now, 92% from the open. These guys, they make something called TFLN, okay? Thin film lithium niobate. That's going to be used essentially in photonics, which is going to be massive. So like what you use silicon for now, this in theory could be used for that, right? And when you're talking about hyper advancements in the ease of communication between all of these kind of different moving parts within, data centers or whatever it is that's using silicon, one of the biggest issues we have now is this is what that company Cerebras is trying to solve by making the large wafers. You remember we were talking about them a while ago. When you have so many different nodes of GPUs, like what you're doing with NVIDIA, it takes energy for them to communicate across, right? And there's inefficiency there, right? So much so that you're starting to see stuff with Blackwell potentially be, like a combined die to develop Blackwell, which will be kind of interesting. But certainly things like large-scale wafers like Cerebras, you don't have to worry about them communicating off chip and then back on a chip. It's all in the same kind of deal. My point in saying that is that the communication and the efficiency within communication between these moving parts is vastly important, right? Seems like people are recognizing that this TFLN is going to be moving forward in this realm in a big way. We're going to talk about it a little bit more on we only got a short segment, but we'll talk about it when we get back. Stay right there.
Many trading newsletters attempt to focus on a narrow set of equities or commodities. While this works for some, it oftentimes misses many opportunities that possess huge gain potential. But how is an independent trader supposed to scan the entire market looking for these hidden opportunities? One simple answer: the opening call newsletter. Basil Chapman, developer of the Chapman Wave trading methodology, has been trading the markets for longer than most trading influencers have been alive. And over that time, he has honed his methodology in order to accurately call movements in a wide range of equities, from semiconductors to uranium to key indices and so much more. Basil is old school, taking the time to educate the trader while also giving his insights into key indices, selective stocks, and more. Opening Call subscribers also receive access to dozens of educational live streams that can be accessed at any time for your edification. All first-time subscribers receive a 30-day money-back guarantee. So ignore the pop trading influencers and start learning time-tested technical analysis.
In the world of trading, only a few names stand out like Larry Pesavento, a pro's pro with over 50 years of experience. Larry has seen it all. A former Chicago Mercantile Exchange member, Larry has authored 10 books and trained over 1,000 traders with his unmatched expertise. Introducing Fibonacci 24/7, Larry Pesavento's daily trading service that turns the complexity of markets into opportunities. Published every Sunday, receive a comprehensive report packed with detailed commentary, charts, and videos that illuminate the patterns shaping the markets, with updates throughout the week exclusively for subscribers. Whether through charts or videos, Larry's analysis is your roadmap to navigating the markets. You can sign up now at TFNN.com for just $97. And with all TFNN newsletters backed by a 30-day money-back guarantee, you have nothing to risk. For all the details, visit TFNN.com. You'll find Fibonacci 24/7 right under the newsletters tab.
The reality is that navigating financial markets can be risky. Markets can be chaotic and difficult to understand. Having the latest market advice can help you turn this chaos into a key for creating winning trades. At TFNN, we understand that it can be hard to find reliable market news. That's why each of our market experts offers their very own market newsletter. A must-have tool for every trader out there striving to find an edge in today's markets. TFNN newsletters cover every aspect of the markets so you can analyze the market before you trade. Try any of our great newsletters risk-free with our 30-day money-back guarantee. Just visit the Newsletters tab on the front page of TFNN.com. TFNN. Educating investors.
Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV.
Welcome back, everyone. Jacob Shoup, Tom O'Brien Show. We got a short segment here talking about Qubit right here, QCI. They're making thin lithium neobate, which they are positing is going to be used in lieu of silicon, or at least alongside it. Interesting stuff here. So they're suggesting that'll enable technologies such as quantum computing, quantum sensing, modulators, so like switches and stuff like that, LiDAR, etc. Telecommunications is huge from it. So I think what's super interesting about them, I'm going to look and see, how much of what exists right now is using this TFLN. If it is a decent amount, you have the situation where a lot of this is from China, right? You get a Trump administration, you get some kind of tariff war on, whatever kind of processed materials these are. And then you're starting to look like, well, hey, we still need this thing somehow. And then you have a QCI standing right there, which is very interesting to think. They are projecting, they're saying the current market is 190 million for TFLN, and they're projecting compounded growth rate there of 39.2% to 1.93 billion by 2029. 6-inch chip yield over 3 million in revenue. So basically the story of why they blew up today is they did secure their first order, which is pretty awesome. Leveraging their capabilities for etching, processing wafer scale characterization of the TFLN. So you do have people who are interested in using that. So very good for QCI. Keep that on your list to follow and check out. Market cap of 248 million. So yeah, whatever that means compared to the total market of TFLN, but this stuff's gonna be huge. It's just a matter of when. You can sit on this forever and not get it, and then 5-6 years later it goes boom. But anyways, that's the show for today, guys. Thank you so much for joining me. We'll be joined tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. by Tommy O'Brien for the morning market kickoff. We'll see you there.